please help me welcome Mike Thompson, riding across the gap.
On a quixotic country road, cloaked in the last lingering light of approaching autumn night, on my bicycle I ride. With 60 other riders, without lights, against the darkness we race. We race more against each other. Like a giant serpent, we bend around the curves and pour over the hills, devouring the distance to the finish. To finish was my goal. My goal all summer long was to finish. To finish a bike race with the leaders. Just once, just one race. At another race, many months before, I started the quest for my goal. That was an early summer day. The sky was sapphire blue. The air was light and fresh. As I stood at the start with hundreds of other riders, surrounded by black fields with little spikes of green corn emerging, I thought, I can do this. Positive mental attitude. It works. For about 100 yards. And then another rider pulled alongside. I pedaled harder, and he easily opened a gap. I pedaled yet harder, and he impertinently disappeared over a hill. And then another rider passed, who only had one leg. And after he disappeared, one rider after another passed, until I was alone. There was a huge gap between me and my goal. Toastmasters, what stands between you and your goals? I would learn over the coming months what it takes to cross gaps to goals. I would learn it's not how big the gap, it's how willing you are to cross. After I'd recovered, a week later, I was talking with Roger, who owned the bike shop that I purchased my bike from. He said, Mike, how did it go? Oh, Roger, I don't think I'm going to try that again. He said, don't give up. You can do this, but you have to put in the time. There was a club that raced from Roger's shop every Wednesday night for up to 50 miles. I joined that club to put in my time. Now in a competitive ride, when you fall behind the main group, it's called being dropped. And on that first race, I wasn't dropped. I was expelled. But with each succeeding race, as I got stronger, I was able to hang on longer. The time was working. Because it's not how big the gap. Help me out here. It's how willing you are to cross the gap. Well, with all that time I was putting in, I was starting to feel pretty confident. I knew that any Wednesday night now would be my night to make my goal. This particular night, it was breezeless, hot and humid. We were riding in tight formation. Bright board fences and big bountiful gardens were whizzing past. And then I collided with the bike in front of me. I was liberated from my bike and united with the pavement. In a chain reaction, every rider behind me crashed because of me. One rider, Bob, broke his collarbone. meant he was out for the season. Not only could I not finish, I was preventing others from finishing the season. Suddenly the gap was much bigger, and I no longer wanted to cross. I was all scraped up. My bike was more than just scratched up. I took it into the shop for Roger to fix. Another rider was there, Fred. I thought about avoiding him. I approached him sheepishly and said, "Hey Fred, I'm really sorry about that crash. It's all my fault." "Don't worry, those things happen. I hope you'll continue to race with us. Oh, by the way, would you mind if I point a few things out to you?" What could I say? No thanks, I only caused half of the club to crash. Well, from that point on, Fred became my teacher, showing me the things that I knew but I somehow couldn't do, like stay upright and not crash. Well, that summer slid into autumn. Those little spikes of green corn grew so high as to make canyons out of country lanes. That light fresh air turned heavy and earthy. And on that country road, cloaked in that fading light, we pedaled on, the rhythm of our wheels and of our breathing, punctuated only by the occasional gear shift. The pace quickened. The group accordioned forward 26, 27, 28 miles an hour. Because I'd put in the time, I had the strength to hang on. Because of the teaching, I had the wisdom. I hung right behind the leader until the last possible moment, when I slid over, accelerated, pulled ahead, and finished in the lead. I had crossed the gap to my dream. What gaps do you have to cross? It's not how big the gap, it's how willing you are to cross. Madam Toastmaster.